Hi everyone, Comic Review here. This time doing part 3 of Batman and Harley Quinn the graphic novel review. Now as we left off, Batman and Poison Ivy met demands on good terms, and the next one deals with the after effects of Batman and Harley Quinn. So as you know, Batman, Harley Quinn and Nightwing pretty much set Jason Woodrow on fire, where he goes underwater and ends up with the Parliament tree saying, "Jason Woodrow, you have been summoned by the Parliament of Greece." And he says, "The Parliament? I am honoured." And Frolic points out that this is no honouring. This is due to the fact that his actions put almost everyone in danger. It's like, my actions, all I've ever done is to try to protect the green. Well, it's great, Avatar does nothing. Silence! Your actions have troubled the green. You will explain yourself. And explains that he's seen what the humans have done, and that on his world they destroyed the nature of his world with machines and everything else. And at the same time, the Parliament says that his actions can't go unnoticed, and it is to remove the threat that is him. He's like, "Old ones, I do not understand." And so he mainly escapes in frustration. And after getting into a fight with Swamp Thing, Frolic Man ends up being dragged underneath and presumably to his death. And where Swamp Thing says, "But the green has made its own judgments, and it has found you unworthy." And so the next part deals with Catwoman escaping and says, "Seriously? You can't even make it a challenge?" And so after pretty much getting Catwoman arrested, Nightwing goes to where Harley Quinn used to work, and Nightwing thinks it's Harley Quinn saying, "Hey, you got any wings for tonight?" Can I help you? Pudding? You want some pudding? No, she says pudding. Not, never mind. You don't have what I'm craving. Hate to see you go. And so, Alfred sees Nightwing down saying, "Good evening, Master. Evening, sir. Hey, Alfred." And I ask him if he wants to go out for a night on the town. And even tries to ask Bruce to come. Says, "Bruce, no." "Well, can I take the..." "No." "Sorry about the wheels, Alfred. I tried." "May I... in our destination?" "Karaoke, sir. Just need to blow off some steam." "By listening to a Two-Faced duet?" And so he sees Shrubby. He says, "Who's asking? I'm a friend of Harley Quinn's. She doesn't seem to be here." "Well, that's which means I've got no reason to play nice." And we see one of the henchmen from before saying, "I remember you from last time." Then you remember how it ended. And so Nightwing takes down the henchman, even the bartender, and pours himself some milk, and says, "Anyone else? I should have known." And afterwards I hear Alfred saying, "All I can say is that my life is pretty plain. I like watching the pebbles gather rain. And all I can do is just pour tea for two." "Fine, let's them finish. Then we'll leave." And so he says that even he sings better in the shower, and says, "You told me you couldn't hear anything when I'm in the shower. Don't blush." And so the next issue deals with Harley Quinn writing her resumes and such, saying, "Now for some pizza." So she looks through her wardrobe, even sets her clothes on fire, and looks in the store, and even asks this lady if she can trade, and pretty much says, "She's a pretty good stylist. You made a big mistake! Huge! But you've never been inside the store. Great point. I've always wanted to say that, and this seems like my chance. See ya." And so I'm guessing that due to having so many similar incidents, they have a little note saying, "Number of weeks since a customer pretended to be Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. 30 days to 0. 3 days to 0. And so we see Harley Quinn getting all her stuff, and even her resume, and says, "Could be close, now to wow them with my charm." And so despite the fact that Harley is pretty much used to be a henchwoman, she kind of realizes that Pam will kill me if she hears about this. "Okay, give me an interview on the computer." Oh, the computer gets it. And so they say that the appointment's already done, and the fact that she thinks it's mainly going to be a setup, and says, "I knew this was a setup." And so that it's not a setup, and that they want Harley Quinn to work for them. And says, "Why are you actually hiring me? Bruce Wayne asked me to give you a chance. And honestly, he funds half this clinic. I didn't know many of the Playboys ever knew who I was." And so the next story starts off with Harley Quinn talking to her pet hyenas, who presumably after Joker and Harley Quinn broke up, she obviously gave them a new home. And he even says that with one of the diamonds she kept, they might find a better life. And like, behind the bushes. "Come out there, lady. I've had enough of you fancy nutjobs running around the park today. So let's go. You're under arrest until I see a badge or something." And Harley Quinn leaves. And yeah, you kind of have this guy who can keep up. She mainly hides until you see Killer Croc saying, "More like a croc. No noise, though. This is my hiding spot. You gotta give it away." And so they talk, and Harley Quinn points out that she got out legally, and that she's trying to turn her life around. And Killer Croc points out that he's being set up by the government, and where we have Task Force X with Rick Flag, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot saying, "You wandered off the leash, you bloody Borgin. That's a no-no. Step away from the civilian, it's over." "Are you guys the army? Thank God! You gotta get me away from him." And so she mainly kicks them down, and he points to Deadshot that they need Killer Croc arrive, so non-lethal weapons, and try and be creative. So Deadshot mainly fires at a wood branch, and knocks down Killer Croc. And he's like, "He's alive, but he's not going anywhere. Neither are you. I don't know who you are. You're fast, you're smart, you're good." And so she gets tranquilized, and Rick Flag says, "But Task Force X is better." Now, I'm going to have to end it here, so like, comment, and subscribe. Comic Reviewer here, signing out.